Welcome to That Entrepreneur Life, a podcast about entrepreneurship that takes you from idea to launch and beyond. Each week, your hosts, Andrew Lees and Clint McPherson, discuss different business topics aimed at adding value to any entrepreneur's journey.
Hey guys, welcome to That Entrepreneur Life. I'm Andrew Lees and I'm here with Clint McPherson, my co-host. And today we have something we've never had before. We actually have a guest on the show, Adam Bird from Heroes Media Group. So we're very excited about that, and we're excited to talk to him about his entrepreneurial journey. And with that, I'll hand it over to Clint to give an introduction.
Guys.
To Adam.
Yeah, like Andrew Lees just said, we have Adam Bird, a special guest on the show today. He's the CEO of Heroes Media Group. And I just got finished spending the weekend with him in Orlando, Florida at PodFest 2020. And I had an amazing time with this guy, getting to really know him. We've had a pretty good friendship before that. We only met in person one time, but we've continued that friendship. And I think the friendship really grew and went to the next level this past weekend. He's a philanthropist. He's a publisher, a producer. He's a podcast host of The Decision Hour and a hero advocate. And I want to welcome him to the show and being our first guest. Welcome, brother.
Hey guys, I appreciate you having me on. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
Without a doubt. So Adam, let's just get right into the meat of everything. We're not even going to waste time today, man.
Let's do it.
As an experienced entrepreneur and a manager in building companies, training, mentoring, leading, and educating teams to success. Mm-hmm. I mean, how has that journey been, and how did it start, brother?
Well, I started a long time ago. I was in the military. I was in the National Guard. I had some odds and ends job in corporate America. And around 2005, I got hired at a for-profit school who will remain nameless right now. I got into their military division, and I hadn't had any jobs where I was working with other military people. So I grew very, very quickly. It was kind of a sales position. Within a year and a half, I was in management, and I was the youngest manager without a college education at the time.
Nice.
Out of about 300-400 managers in the company. It continued to grow, but in 2010 there was a layoff. I was one of the ones that got laid off. At the time I was a single dad and trying to grow, but I was able to, during my time there, I was able to help other people come in, and I taught them about sales, and I taught them how to just grow and be better at their job, so to speak. Fast forward a few years, April 1st, 2013, I was in another position at another job doing education. And I walked into work after about a year and 2 months, and I was like, you know what? Damn this. I'm done working corporate. I walked in, I quit my job. First time I've ever actually walked out of a job. And this had been building up for months. And I was doing my manager's job. I was training the team, and I was helping other people, and other people were promoting. They were rapidly growing, and then I was still kind of stuck in that position. There was no room for advancement for me at that time. So I left that job and decided to become an entrepreneur, start my own business, do it full time. I had started the business prior to that, but it was just doing it kind of on a part-time basis. Nice. But April 1st, 2013, I walked in, April Fool's Day. I walked in, and yeah, I planned it like this. I walked in and grabbed my stuff and said, "Hey man, I quit, I'm out." And I walked out, and then that was it. And everybody's and I was kind of known like the jokester in that job. And 20 minutes later, I get a phone call, and my manager, he's like, "Dude, where you at?" And I was like, "Dude, I quit." And I'm like, "Oh, we thought it was an April Fool's joke." I was like, "It is. Joke's on you. I actually quit." So
yeah, that is for real.
And that was it. So, but that was it. And I've been fortunate enough as an entrepreneur to help other people kind of walk them through the process of what it is that they want to do, or I've been able to help. I've been blessed to been able to help a lot of people push them in the direction to where they want to go and achieve the things that they want to achieve.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So, and
very cool.
And that is very nice and very cool, man, and a great story. But like, so from your transition, because you've been a CEO or a co-founder in several different things, from Vets on Media to military members consulting services, to now Heroes Media Group. I mean, your entrepreneurial journey, that seems very interesting, right? And how it's just snowballed and is something like this powerhouse that you got going on with Heroes Media Group, man. I mean, can you give us some insight on, whether how has it been? Obviously, what does this process mean to you as an entrepreneur?
Man, I tell you, it's tough. It's a tough process. It ain't easy. I can tell you that. When people think it's easy, then it's probably not worth having, right?
Right.
It's been a struggle. I've done Heroes Media Group. I've done out of my own pocket. It's basically reaching down, grabbing a handful of dirt, rubbing it together, and hoping you get a penny. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been
creating something out of nothing, literally.
Yeah, people, and it has been, and people have been like, how have you grown Heroes Media Group? I said, I'm living on hopes and dreams, because that's basically what it started off as. It's just like, I had a dream, and I'm hoping that this doesn't fail. And there's been failures along the line. There's been times where I've wanted to just close Heroes Media Group down and just like, you know what, maybe I'll just go back to corporate America, because this isn't working. And as soon as I start thinking that, I get a phone call or I get an email, and it just shows me that what I'm on is something special, and you just have to move forward. I think as an entrepreneur, one of the things that I like about working for myself is that it's all on you. It's all on my shoulder. I take the brunt of everything. I've been fortunate enough. We got like 30. By the end of this month, we'll have 40 shows on the network.
That's awesome.
We have a publishing department, and we have all these different services that we offer. And the idea is there, but I've had to recruit people that believe in my vision, that want to see this grow. And I like networking, and I like putting in the spots, like trying to strategically place people in certain areas, on areas that I have absolutely no clue. It's like I'm like the good idea fairy when it comes to certain things. Like, boom, that's a great idea, let's do that. Now I got to go find the person that can fulfill that. I love doing that stuff and growing it that way.
Right.
Yeah, and that's smart to go out and find the resources that that can help you, instead of trying to take on everything yourself. Right. Because I think that's a struggle with a lot of entrepreneurs out there.
You can't get anywhere in life. I don't care who you are. And those of you that are watching this, listening to this, you can get only so far doing stuff by yourself.
Yeah.
But if you really want to grow, if you really want to progress, you're going to have to ask for help. And I think if there's any advice that I can give anybody, one of the things I tell people is, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Mm-hmm. Oh, without a doubt. And I think what's an important thing to add to that is to stay in your genius, right? Yeah. Know what you're good at. Know where your strengths and weaknesses lie. So then you can surround yourself with individuals that are either smarter than you or better than you at that specific task that you suck at, right?
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when I first got into podcasting, I knew nothing about it. Like, I'm a business and education background. Media and entertainment, not my background. I've spent hours and hours and hours. When I first started doing this, 2009, 2010 time frame was when I kind of cut my teeth in radio. I would watch hours and hours of like YouTube and stuff like that, like try to figure out what the hell was going on. Now that I've educated myself a little bit, and I've talked to a lot of people in the business over the years, I know what it takes to do it. So now what I've done is I've gone out and I've recruited people that can fulfill those spots, because that way I can step back from those positions and start filling other positions within the company to help it grow.
Right. It's powerful, man.
Yeah. So what was it that attracted you to media? With having a business background, did you see, was it something that you thought you would be passionate about, or was it more of you identified something that you could, like a business that you could really do really well with from like a business perspective? So was it more of an emotional thing, or was it I fell into the whole entertainment side of things by complete accident. I got asked on a local radio station
back in the day to talk about military benefits. And this is when I was still doing the education piece. It came on, one thing led to another. And eventually after a couple months, I was, co-hosting a show. And as most of you know, like when you get in your car or whatnot, and you click on the button that's terrestrial radio, and you get a station that's heard for so many miles, you can't say certain things because it's regulated by the FCC.
Right.
My mindset 10 years ago was much different because I was like, I'm going to say whatever I want. Nobody's going to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you find yourself getting into a whole lot of trouble when you don't necessarily play by the rules. So I wanted to recreate the rules. So I went and took it online, and I noticed at the time that there were veterans that were out there doing radio or doing internet talk shows and stuff like that, but there wasn't an actual network where it was just veterans. And so we were the first to create an actual all veterans network at the time. That went for about 3.5 years, and we shut that down. And I had a business partner at the time, and we just had different visions. So we went bad, just went different ways. So the next day, I started Heroes Media Group, and I wanted to open it up not just to veterans, but heroes in the community. You got law enforcement, firefighters, first responders, educators, and then there's a clergy piece in there as well. I want everybody to kind of get it. And the basis of it is we want the positive stories. I think the three of us and your viewers would agree right now in this day and age that we live in now, like you turn on the news, it's all negative stuff.
Right.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So let's change that around. And for me, one of the things that I enjoy, what I think is a challenge, changing people's mindset. And that's kind of the next step as we're evolving and growing Heroes Media Group, is try to change people's mindset from like the negative side of things and try to feed more positivity into the world.
I agree 100% on that. And when you say that, and to add to the question that Andrew just asked, I can see how you can kind of fell into it, because when I reached out to you, and I could tell you're definitely somebody that encourages people, right? I reached out to you about podcasting the College Sports Hour, right? And I was like, man, I have this idea, I have this vision. What do I do? And then you basically said, bro, great, just do it, right? Yeah. Take that risk.
Do it.
Just stop talking about it. Let's do it. It sounds awesome. Let's do it. And 25 episodes in, man, I enjoyed myself, right? And I could see the media aspect, because we get to go to events, we get to cover sporting events, we get to talk about them for you. And that is the cool aspect. And I can see how you feed off that energy, right?
Yeah.
You're around a lot of camaraderie too, because it's a lot of sporting events, a lot of team building things.
Right.
And
it's really kind of bringing people together, and you're bringing up a good point. And that's not something I really thought of. So I appreciate you saying that, but it's like, one of the doors that I've opened for a lot of other people is going to cover events as media. I took our attorney, the company's attorney, to who was a Navy veteran, and took an Army Navy, and he walked out on the field, awesome. And he was just like, "This is the coolest thing ever." And I was just like, I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, remember that next time if I get in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, we've had people up until everything that's going on in the world right now. We had everybody lined up to cover all the NCAA, basketball tournaments up and through the Final Four. We got NASCAR, and we just get to do a lot of cool stuff. And if I can, I look at it like this: I'm sending people to these events. They're having a good time, and in return, I'm just asking to take some pictures and write an article so we can post that we were there. We had a representative there. And it's a win-win for everybody. And I think that's kind of what life is all about is, because when you go to these events, for some guys, it's therapeutic for them. They do it because they have a good time. They don't want to write an article or whatnot. And for me, it's more content that we get to add. And we're looking to expand that as the years ahead. So,
yeah. It's awesome when you can find something that's fun. And that you can get other people involved in and you don't feel like anybody's competing against each other, and it's all very collaborative. That's really cool. Like Clint was saying that's how and I'm really bummed that I missed PodFest this year, but I'll definitely be there next year. But I mean, that's what, he was amazed at how collaborative the environment was. And so it's a really neat business, whereas even with one of my businesses, Grass Racks, we make bamboo board racks or display racks for boards and bikes and different gear. And so we've been to Orlando to Surf Expo multiple times, and it's a really cool show, and there's a lot of really cool people there, and the vibe is good, but it's not the same. It's not this like everybody's helping everybody else out with their business,
Right.
A bunch of people like selling sunglasses and equipment and surfboards and stuff all day, and then drinking beer later, and that's fun. But it's not like, hey, let's have fun and build our business at the same time. So and that's kind of what podcasting seems like. I would not have. I'm very new to it, and I think so far it's been really, really exciting and a really cool business that honestly several months ago I wouldn't really have. I didn't really think too much about. So it's neat to be involved with it.
I think with podcasting is it's been around since 2004, 2005. Not a lot of people know about it even today, and I still think, and it's it's a $2.5 billion industry, last year. I think that we're still very much ahead of its time. I still think we're about 5-6 years before we kind of start peaking a little bit on the podcasting side of things. So it's in a very exciting time to start podcasts and stuff like that right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I agree with that. Let's get into another question, because I really think this hits home. And we came up with these questions before the show well in advance, and some of the things we've been discussing, but I think spending time with you this weekend, I already know the answer to this, but I want to see if I really do know it. But when you think about it, the things we talked about this weekend, things you heard at PodFest 2020 this weekend, what has been the hardest thing you've had to overcome, whether it's recently or ever, in order to just within your business right now, not just starting your business, but what has been the hardest thing right now currently that you've had to overcome? Just think about this, brother, because
man, just one thing, right? You're gonna put me in a spot like that,
you're like, only one thing.
It doesn't have to be just one thing, man. Let it out.
There's several things, and I'll start with when you're first starting off, not knowing how podcasts really worked. It was the technology side of it, because when I started off, it was like you did a Google Hangout, and that was when Google and YouTube were still kind of together. So you had one computer set up here and another computer here to make sure the feeds were running correctly, and then you had another computer here. I mean, you're like, it was one of the. So I would say technology was a big thing at the time. I think another thing kind of right now is like, I'll say this, and this is me just kind of stepping out of my bubble, and I usually don't do this on shows, but I'll do it here just because I feel like my gut's really telling me to say this, is having kind of an imposter syndrome.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Is that what you were waiting for? Is that what you were waiting for?
Exactly. Money.
I think the biggest thing when you are a business owner and you're starting a business, and in the 50,000 foot view that I have, like I set goals that are pretty much unachievable. I know what my overall goal is in this lifetime, and I don't think I'll ever achieve it. And if I do, that means I didn't set it high enough, because for me, it means that I get up every day and it gives me something to chase. Now, with that being said, there's sub goals underneath that, right? So if you're looking at like an overall umbrella, you have other goals that help you get to the bigger picture, right? So for me, this is where the imposter syndrome comes in. PodFest, the second largest podcasting event in the world. I've been podcasting since 2009, and most people think when they meet me, like, you're too humble. You don't give yourself any credit. And I don't. And somebody else called me out on it, on a panel that I sat on. it's just the way that I'm wired. I'm not out trying to toot my own horn, and I'm not trying to be in front of everything. Like my heart's at trying to help people, but in doing that, I oftentimes think that maybe I'm not good enough to be up there with other people, or maybe somebody else is doing something better, and I have a tendency to try to compare myself when I really don't know what those other people or other companies are doing. And This event was very eye-opening for me. I got on the stage, answered all the questions I needed answered, and I think I did relatively well. You can ask Clint; he'll tell you whether I did or not. But afterwards, I realized that I do belong up there, and who am I to not share my gift with other people?
Exactly.
I think the biggest thing that God, and whether you're a Christian or not, I grew up going to church, so I'm going to use this analogy because it works for me.
Right.
Growing up, going to church and stuff, God gives you a gift, right? And once you find out what that gift is, it's your job to share that and help other people. I'm fortunate enough, I'll be 42 here in a few days, and I have found my purpose in life, and that's to help as many people as possible. Now that I know what my purpose is, it's not my job to sit here and hold on to my knowledge like, oh, everybody's out to get me. Nobody's out to get me. No, and you're going to have people that talk about you and speak bad. There's people all the time. I got haters out there, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not my business what they say. I got to focus on how I can help you guys, how I can help, my 11 o'clock appointment, or how I can help the next people grow, and how we can help HMG grow and change society's mindset as a whole. So your job is kind of a long answer. I apologize, but the thing is the imposter syndrome is, once you realize that you don't need to have an imposter syndrome and that you are good enough, right? And you can move forward with stuff, utilize the tools and the gifts that you have to help other people. Don't hold on to it to yourself. Spread your gifts out to help others.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
I agree with that. Andrew.
Damn you, Clint, for putting that out.
Hey, no, man. See, but that's raw, man. I mean, the listeners, the viewers, they're going to dig it because it's real. Yeah. Because
and I'll be honest. Listen, guys. I honestly, this is the first time I've ever said this on any show that I've openly admitted out loud on a show that it was imposter syndrome, and it's hard. I'm having a hard time even right now saying it.
Oh, bro, hell yeah! No, it's like, look, this is why this show exists, because we're trying to add value to the entrepreneurial journey, and we're all going to encounter that. Right, the journey's not easy. The failure comes.
No. Let me tell you something. If you think if the journey's easy, then you're doing something wrong.
Oh, exactly. You're not an entrepreneur, bro. Right?
You know what I'm saying? If the journey's easy, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, self-imposter syndrome is real, right? And that's why we have this show. We're trying to pull that information out of our guests. So when somebody else encounters that they have something to listen to. It's like, okay, it's just not me going through this, right? I can relate to this because you face it on a daily basis, no matter if you want to admit it or not.
Yeah. And here's the crazy thing. And I'm going to toot my horn here for a minute. And Clint, you've been with me long enough to know that some of the companies and the people that we work with are NASCAR, Major League Baseball. I mean, those are, and that's just to name a few. I won't get into some of the other ones that we have, but I mean, just to name a few, those aren't anything to balk at.
Right.
You know what I mean? It means I'm doing something. And it's not me. I just had the vision. It's HMG wouldn't be here if it wasn't for guys like you, shows like you, the other shows that are on the network. We have the transcription department and the team that works there. We have the editors and stuff for the books and the publishing side of things. It's the entire collective unit working together, and that helped me realize, like, hey, this is something special, and this isn't necessarily something to take lightly. Like, we've done this from nothing, like literally nothing, and look where it's at with 4.5 years later. And it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, that's the thing, that you've got so much potential still. And that's the exciting thing about being an entrepreneur. But yeah, that imposter syndrome is very real, and something that I've felt with everything that I've started, including, if I'm being completely honest, this podcast.
Right.
You know, I've never done a podcast before. Clint has, so it's cool to have, you know, at least one of us has some experience. But even if neither of us did, it's something that we can learn and we can get better at. And that's the thing that I think I have started to fall back on. Like, if I know that I can always get better at something, so it might be a little, even if it's a little rocky in the beginning, if you're focused on it and you're willing to, you know, to put in the work and the time, you are going to get better. You are going to learn more about it. And, you know, I felt that too with my other businesses, where I'm like, man, am I really an authority on this thing? And what I've realized is that even if I've done even just one more day worth of work or research into something than somebody else, that means that I'm in a better position to help them be one more day ahead. You know what I mean? So like, even if I have a little bit more knowledge and understanding about a particular topic, then there are people who haven't done even that much research. Like, you don't have to be the number one, like the number one authority on something in the entire world to be able to help other people.
Right.
And so I think that's helped me along the journey.
Nice.
But yeah, getting over that imposter syndrome is really, really important. And just knowing that, you know, hey, you belong. And even if it's rough in the beginning, that there's, that you're just going to get better at it.
You know, the cool thing about having the imposter syndrome is, like, once you're over it, not only do you feel much better about it, but then the people around you really feed to you, and you hear how much they believe in you. Like Clint, for an example, he's been a huge supporter the last couple of years. I got a friend of mine. She's a very well-known international speaker, and she was just like, dude, I don't know what your problem is. She's like, you got this. And she was kind of like my build up before going on the stage. But it's okay to have it, and recognize it. Know that if you feel like you have it, recognize it so you can move forward from it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it's good to have some fear in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. I think that helps focus you and helps you not overcome it. I actually was listening to a podcast recently by a guy who was talking about overcoming fear and how you never actually overcome it. Mm-hmm. You don't conquer it. You don't overcome it. You become more like in sync with it, and it helps you exactly. It actually helps you. You can kind of use it as a tailwind.
I kind of like, you know, if you don't have fear, I mean, for me, again, if I'm not fearing something, it means I probably don't have any respect for it, and it doesn't matter to me.
All right.
Yeah.
When you start fearing something, it means it's something important to you. You hold it close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it adds that drive to it, right? I mean, it gives you that extra motivation to overcome the fear, gives you that extra motivation just to continue to move forward, to get up off the ground when you fell. All that stuff, man, it is just very important as an entrepreneur to continue on, because like you said, when you've wanted to throw in the towel, like you said earlier in this episode, you get that phone call or that one thing comes through, you're like, I've been waiting for this. And it just reassures you that your journey's not done. You waited that extra minute, you waited that extra hour, that extra day to not throw in the towel. And then what you've been waiting for comes through, and it gives you that additional motivation of like, I'm doing the right thing. This is my point in time. And then I think it's also important to step back when you're in that imposter syndrome mind frame. It's important to take that step back and look at everything as a whole and say, who the hell am I? Like,
right.
Am I doing the right thing? And you already said you found your why, right? So when you take that step back, you can paint that picture to where it's like, okay, this is why I'm doing this, and everything's moving forward, everything's coming together, and I'm fucking Adam Bird, right? Like I'm Clint McPherson, you know, I'm Andrew Lees, and you look at it, and that's what it's about, man. Is figuring out like, hey, man, I got 40 shows on my damn network, dude. Like, not many people that have a network are going to be there. Your vision, right? We talked about this. is more than, close to 100 by the end of 2020. Those are
Yeah.
important goals to set up and move towards, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're satisfied where you're at, you're never going to get to where you want to be. So,
Right.
I mean, I think everything you've said and everything that we're talking about is just relevant, just point blank to the entrepreneurial journey, and it adds a ton of value, man.
And I think and I've done this without taking on any business partners. I haven't taken out any business loans. I haven't taken on any angel investors.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not that there's anything wrong with any of those things,
Right.
because there's not. I just felt in my gut that this was something I was supposed to do. Started off on my own, and then bring people in later on. So
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Digging it.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
So Andrew sent me this question the other day to add to our list, man. I really thought is a really good one. So as an entrepreneur, my man, what drives you more? Okay. Obviously I've heard it plenty of times, but is it the potential for financial gain or the freedom and flexibility that entrepreneurship provides?
Or both.
It's
both.
I wouldn't say that's a tough question. It's not the money.
Exactly.
Although the potential there is cool to think about. It's not why I'm doing it. The reason why I'm doing it is purpose. We have a saying, purpose with a profit, meaning you put the purpose first, right?
Right.
Whatever your purpose is in life, have that purpose. And if you keep the purpose first, the profit will always follow. If you put the profit first, you're always going to end up chasing a dollar.
Yeah.
And you may not get to where you want to go. And then by the end of your life, you're sitting there like, I chased money the entire time and I never got to where, and I missed all these special things. So to answer your question, the purpose is the driving factor, for me. And I tell people, my motivation is my son. He's 17. He's getting, going to start his junior. He's finishing up his junior year. He's been my purpose for the longest time, up until a couple of years ago when I really started getting into Heroes Media Group, where I found, hey, there's people. My son's set. He's in high school. I got to grow up now, right? What's my purpose? What now? I got to help other people, and I extended that purpose to other people and whatnot. And I think moving forward, until God tells me to do something else, the purpose is to help as many people as I can. If I make money along the way that can pay the bills, great.
Right.
I got bills and stuff to pay for, and I know that that's important, but that's not in the forefront of my mind. I don't stress about that per se. I stress about who's the next person I can help and continue to grow the business. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's important to, when you are putting that purpose first, and when you really you have a strong why, and you are focused on how you can help other people, then like you said, the money will follow, because people respond to that. If they feel like people feel like they're being sold to from, and it just doesn't feel genuine, doesn't feel like it's very helpful, then it's just not going to work. And yeah, you're just going to chase that expectation of making money, and it's just nothing's really going to quite work out or be sustainable. So I think that's really important.
I want to use give an example real quick if I can. And Clint, you were in the room when this happened. There was a gentleman that stood up, and he called me out and says, "Adam's cheap." He'll basically do stuff at a low cost just because he wants to help people. And I was just like, dude, what are you doing? But at the same time, if it was about the money, I mean, I know I could charge a lot more for our services that we offer and stuff like that, but to me, it's not about the money. It's the relationships. It's helping people get to where they want to go. Right. That's what keeps me going. That's the driving factor, I think, is how did I change this person's life today?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And how you bring that back though, right? And how I reeled that in for you to the point is like when I introduced myself when we were in that group meeting, it's like, look, I offer affordable solutions to problems that, whether it's for you, it's the podcast industry or the entertainment industry, right? It's not cheap. It's like, look, it might be cheaper than some of my competitors or whatever, but that's not the cheap mindset. I'm here to help people. Yeah. And that shows your purpose as far as, okay, I offer affordable solutions. So if you want to jump on the Heroes Media bandwagon, while we're affordable, then do it,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
it's not going to be affordable for everybody someday.
No, exactly.
Right.
I mean, eventually, right? Because one of the things is we've talked about this in one of the recent episodes, and it ties into your purpose analogy, right? The purpose and the benefits will come. Mine was adding the value, and the monetary gain will come behind that, right? You add the value up front, and the money comes. It's like if you can't add that value or have that purpose, obviously you'll never have that financial gain that you're seeking. But and we're always trying to put ourselves in a financial state to where we have that freedom and flexibility, because entrepreneurship does provide that, right? But I really think in the entrepreneur lane, and I want to touch on this real quick because I was really dug into this week, is what we struggle with as entrepreneurs is cash flow management. Okay. So it's a little bit of a different twist on in an angle that I'm taking, but cash flow management is a huge thing that entrepreneurs struggle with, because whether we're hiring contractors, we're trying to pay employees, whatever it is, it's like what I think we've really shot ourselves in the foot is trying to use the net 30 that all the larger corporations are used to using, right? So instead of charging on the front end or charging 50% up front and then sit 50% on the back end so you can cover your ass, we're sitting there waiting 30 days. Oh, what happens when they don't pay 30 days, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 45, 60 days.
Yeah.
And as a small business or a small company like my agency is, which we're continuing to grow, but that really shoots you in the foot and hurts you. So the cash flow management piece is huge, but you have to add that value and hone that cash flow management problem in to make it all work.
Yeah, exactly. And because you have to be true to your business too, and figuring out the bottom line or figuring out the structure that works, so it's obviously gotta be sustainable and, and true to all the costs associated with providing a product or a service. But at the same time, making sure that it's as affordable as possible, to people, because then you're going to get more, more clients. I mean, more customers.
I think some of that has to do with this setting an expectation with the new client that you bring on. Hey, this is what it is. This is how much it's going to cost. And we're going to take this amount up front, or you're going to pay this up front, or before we release the final product to you, your bill's going to be paid before you give that. It's just a matter of how you set your expectation.
Right.
Yep.
I'm not the management side, the cash management. What we have is that's one of those outsourced deals. I have a company that does all of our bookkeeping and stuff like that. We have a monthly meeting. Here's what your budget is for the month. This is what you can and can't do, whatever. Keep it under here. If you're going to write stuff off, make sure we get receipts. And they have access to everything, so they track everything for me. It makes it very easy. Not everybody can afford to do that. They just happen to do my taxes and stuff too at the end of the year. So it for me, it was smart because I knew it was my weakness and not one of my strong points. So that was one of the things that I outsourced out for.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that is a good thing. That is one of those things where at the very least, as a business owner, you should outsource your taxes.
Yeah.
Once a year at the very least, because it definitely becomes more complicated. You're not filling out a 1040 EZ when you're a business owner. So there's a lot more to consider, and it has the write-offs do have significant impact. Impact.
Yes, they do.
It's like when you're non-business owner, you get your W-2. If you don't own a house, then it's stupid easy. If you do own a house, then it's like, all right, you can write off the interest. Super simple, but that's kind of it. There's a few other deductions, but yeah, with a business, it's so much. There's so much more, and you have to make sure that you're not doing anything that's going to raise any red flags too. So
right.
But yeah, no, I agree. that's a good thing to outsource. And so yeah, it's good to know what those things are that you should outsource. And it seems like you've done a really good job of that, of playing to your strengths and knowing what they are and letting other people do what they do best. And that way you can really grow. Yeah, I think that's good.
Working on it. So I'm still, I'm like a sculptor, you just kind of got to chisel off the rough edges,
right?
And sand it down a little bit. So,
yeah, man. So before we wrap this show up, brother, we mentioned Heroes Media Group.
Yeah.
And with Heroes Media Group being a broadcasting platform dedicated to providing a voice for your community heroes, right? And those who support them. I mean, what is the biggest takeaway that you really want people to take away from what Heroes Media Group stands for? And how can they find you, man?
You can find us at www.heroesmediagroup.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at Heroes Media GRP. And I think the takeaway is we're here for you. We want to be the voice for the community heroes, and we're always looking for positive stories. So if you're, in, I don't know, somewhere lost in Wyoming and some local law enforcement or firefighter did something heroic or something good, and it's only getting news in that area, send it to us so we can make it national. We want the feel good, positive stories, because the more we start sending out positive stories, the quicker we can start changing people's mindset to the positive. We know stuff's going to happen, right? There's going to be negative things that happen, but we also have a choice of whether or not we want to listen to that. Let's choose the positive, because life is short as it is. So why not be happy?
Exactly. And that helps bring people together, because everybody can rally around a good story.
Right.
So I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Without doubt, man. I love it, brother. Well, Adam, I appreciate you jumping on with us today, brother. It's been a pleasure, man.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's an honor. I love what you guys are doing. Keep pushing forward, and you guys know that I'm here for you. So thanks again for having me on the show.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Make sure, guys, that you follow us on all the socials, as they would call it, right? Go find us at thatentrepreneurlife.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to just add value and do this thing. I appreciate you, Andrew Lees, for jumping on too, my man.
Absolutely. Yeah. And don't forget to ask questions. We definitely want to hear from everybody. We're going to be pushing that a little bit harder, because we want to hear from you guys what you're struggling with, what your questions about being an entrepreneur, a business owner, whether you're developing a product or a service or whatever it is, so we definitely want to hear from you, and we'll start answering those questions on our podcasts. Probably at the beginning of each podcast, we'll at least answer one question. So yeah, please do that.
All right, guys, that's a wrap, and we'll see you next week on That Entrepreneur Life.
Thanks for listening to That Entrepreneur Life podcast. Be sure to visit thatentrepreneurlife.com to join the conversation, access our show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode as we continue to add value. Until next time.